at the tail of the tape for the heavyweight bout upcoming, and you can see that Sam Peter has a big future ahead of him if he can keep going. 24 is extremely young for a heavyweight contender. Yanqui Diaz is still, by the standards of the division, a young contender at 28. Diaz with a 2-inch height advantage, an arm length advantage of 2.5 inches measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. The taller man weighs 232. His boxing skills are supposed to be his edge. Sam Peter at 247 is regarded as the harder puncher of the two. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Samuel Peter Yanqui Diaz fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
All right, Harold, and get ready for Yanqui Diaz, who was an understudy to Felice Sabon for years in the heralded Cuban amateur/Olympic boxing program, and ultimately defected to Mexico, saying, "I'll do better in the professional ranks." From there, he walked, more or less, to Las Vegas.
He comes out of the Cuban tradition of heavyweights, started by Teofilo Stevenson, who won 4 gold medals at the Olympics, and Felix Savon, who won a bunch of them himself.
His first round KO of Juan Carlos Gomez was a shock to the boxing world. Let's see if it turns out really to have been a meaningful credential for him. And since the knockout of Gomez, 2 more wins, including a win over veteran Vaughn Bean, who went the distance with, among others, Evander Holyfield. Roy, how significant do you think the knockout win over Gomez was?
I think it was significant in a case, but what you have to remember is that they're from the same country. They probably had a little bit of history already.
And here's Sam Peter. And as Roy makes the point about the history of the 2 Cuban fighters, Peter, Larry, is the latest Nigerian heavyweight to come off of what is becoming an assembly line.
Yeah, in the last decade, we saw Ika Bayabuchi, of course, perhaps the most talented heavyweight who had troubles outside the ring. David Izon and Henry Akinwande. He insists that unlike them, he will get to the top of the mountain.
What's more important for a heavyweight, Roy? That he can punch or that he can take a punch?
It's more important that he can take a punch. If he can punch, it's okay, but if he can take a punch, he's more deadly because he can hang around and pull off victories. Perfect example, Chris Bird is not one of the biggest punchers of the division, but because he can take a punch, he's a survivor, and he's still a champion right now today.
So that's a credential we'll be looking for in whoever emerges from this test between Peter and Yanqui Diaz. And there's a look at recent credentials for Peter. Charles Shepard was a knockout victim for Vladimir Klitschko, but went the distance with Peter. Some people thought that was a black mark against Peter's record, but it was erased by the giant knockout of Williams. Now let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the home of the Heat, American Airlines Arena here in Miami, Florida, where tonight Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present an evening of professional boxing for your entertainment. Sponsored tonight by Sportsbook.com and all bouts sanctioned by the Florida State Boxing Commission. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this contest will be Emil Conforti, Michael Pernick, and Mark Streisand. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Brian Gary. This first bout brought to you in association with Duva Boxing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, white, and blue, official weight, 232 pounds. Professional record, 13 victories, including 8 knockouts, with only 1 defeat. Damas y caballeros, de Pinar del Rio, Cuba, here is Yanqui Diaz. And his opponent, across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue, official weight, 247 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 21 bouts, 21 victories, including 18 knockouts. Originally from Nigeria, now fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, here's the undefeated Nigerian Nightmare Samuel Peter.
All right, gentlemen, I'll be the third man in here in charge of this bout at all times. I give you command to break, you break cleanly. If you score a knockdown, you go to the neutral corner. Do not come out till I signal. Avoid the use of your head as a weapon. No rabbit punches or low blows. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up. Come out fighting at the bell.
This was the week of inaugural balls. For us, this is the inaugural brawl of the season. And with a 16.5-foot ring, one of the smallest we've seen, it should be a brawl.
And at 16.5 feet, that's a Sam Peter ring for these circumstances, right, Roy?
Yes, it is, because Yanqui Diaz, coming from the Cuban descendant, he probably is more of a boxer than a power puncher.
Definitely. Describes himself that way and hopes that his boxing skills will give him the edge. There's Peter trying to throw the same big left hook that put away Jeremy Williams. Sam Peter can also punch with the right hand. Diaz is treating him with great care at this moment.
These fighters have sparred a number of rounds previously and know each other well, and that's playing into this early part of the fight.
And not terribly surprisingly, their descriptions of what happened in the sparring sessions differ dramatically. Did Peter hurt Lopez with that punch?
He hit it with
yes,
a solid right hand, and Diaz wisely took a knee because he was stunned.
7, 8. Don't turn your back. Don't turn around. Bucks.
So already Sam Peter with a psychological statement as he's able to wobble Yanqui Diaz with the right hand, and eventually Diaz elects to take the knee. What does that do to Diaz's confidence, Roy?
Doesn't do much. He was out of place. He didn't know where he was. He did the right thing because he got spin around, and he lost his vision for a minute. So he took a knee so that he didn't get caught with something unsuspected and go down.
Watch your head.
Problem, though, of course, is that Diaz's plan for winning the fight involves winning rounds, and now Sam Peter has more or less ensured himself of winning the first one unless Diaz can knock him down in the remaining 115.
The big problem that Diaz is going to have is, like Larry said, this is a very small ring, so it's very difficult for him to get away from Peter.
Yes. Diaz's manager, Wes Wolf, was spitting nails about the size of the ring before the fight. He said, well, at least the canvas is hard and firm, so it's a fast track.
I got you. I got you. Free. Step out
Short,
there.
quick little right hand by Diaz.
And Peter lands the right hand. And the left hook hurt Diaz badly inside. And Diaz grabbed and held on after Sam Peter caught him with a short left hook.
Peter looks like some of the rough edges have been smoothed off since the last time we saw him a year and a half or so. He patiently stalking.
I got you, gentlemen. No punch.
And not trying to force the knockout.
Well, he realizes he may have to go 12 rounds here, so.
7, 6. No punch, no punch. Come on out of there.
Good professional first round by Sam Peter, hoping to stamp himself a real contender here.
Samuel, he's got good pressure you're putting on him, but the thing is you have to work your jab to get inside. He's up there, he's high up, and so he don't want you to hit him in the head. You have to work to the body, Dave. You have to go to the body to relax it.
Work this jab. Keep him off of you with this jab. You understand? Give me some feints. You're moving right into his punches. Comprende? Huh? Work.
He see Diaz on the go. He was on the run right here. He got caught with a good right hand right there to the jaw, and that threw him off for a minute. He was all confused. He didn't want to get caught with another shot. So here he takes a knee to keep himself out of harm.
And Jim, you said that makes a statement in the fight.
There's another statement it makes, that he's not just a left hooker.
He was at pains during the meeting yesterday to let us know that he thinks he has just as much power with the right hand as with the left. And of course, if opponents are worried first about the left hand, that might make his right hand more effective anyway.
It would, because they'd be looking to block the left hook at first.
The thing I liked about Peter in the first round was that he got in 2 vicious body shots. So many heavyweights don't do the work to the body that they should.
The thing I like about him is he puts his punches together really well.
Yanqui Diaz is trying to create more space between himself and Samuel Peter. Roy's already pointed out how difficult that's going to be in a 16.5-foot ring. Diaz has to work very hard with his feet to fight the fight he wants to fight here.
Watch your heads now, guys. Come on.
Diaz is doing what his corner told him Peter is not. There's the first good jab he's thrown this round.
Oh.
Right hand over the top by Diaz. Peter trying to counter inside. Caught him with the left hook there. Did Sam Peter. But he was not on balance when he threw the punch. And now Peter is getting a little reckless in there, trying to land something big.
Sometimes a guy comes off a sensational knockout and he thinks he can do it every time, like a guy who hits a home run and swings for home runs every time.
Yep, and that's not a good thing. And I'm sure Yanqui Diaz's height is giving him a problem too. Oh, good shot by Yanqui.
Get him up, get him up. Stop that. Freak.
Yanqui landed a good counter right hand just then.
Fighting a smart round.
Talk about how impressive Peter's knockouts have been.
None of this forearm.
His promoter, Dino Duva, said to us, I was more impressed the first time I saw him fight his way to a 10-round decision and prove he could do it. Anybody like Sam Peter ought to be able to knock some people out. The question is, can he box his way to a win when he needs to? And he's now done it twice in his career, the full 10 rounds.
I got you, break. Break. Come on, guys.
Hard right hand to the body knocks Diaz down for the second time. And now Diaz rolls over. That body shot did a lot of damage.
8, let me have your gloves. The round's over, right? You here.
That was a 3-point swing in the last seconds of the round. Diaz had the round won. Peter gets a 2-point round.
He getting 2 points taken from hitting him while he was down, though.
And now Peter has been penalized 2 points for hitting Diaz while he was down.
2 points.
2 points. Roy, you know something about that.
Yeah, I know something about it.
You got disqualified for something like that.
Yeah, I sure did.
And why in the world would the penalty be 2 points rather than 1 point to begin with?
Because he knew the guy was down and hurt, and he tried to intentionally take his head off. I just tapped the guy when he was down.
That's true. You were not trying to take Montel Gritton's head off.
He was trying to take his head off.
I want you to move. You understand? Move. Everything's fine. Muévete con tu mano izquierda,
He's running. So double jab, not one jab, double jab. And when you send him on the ropes, go for the chest and the stomach.
Are we on the clock?
So you see him hit him with a good shot. Actually stepped on his foot and caught him with the right hand at the same time. Then he threw the uppercut while the guy was down helplessly, and that was a bad punch with bad intention, and that's why he took 2 points from him.
So it was a good penalty by referee Brian Gary of Florida, who was still paying attention even as he watched Diaz on the canvas. And now, through 2 rounds, we have an interesting scorecard as Sam Peter has twice knocked Yanqui Diaz down, but Peter was penalized 2 points for hitting Yanqui Diaz while he was on the canvas.
Jim,
round 3 begins.
Jim, that's the first 8-8 round I ever scored.
please. Time. Over here. Over here. Yanqui.
Gary sending Diaz to a corner to wait.
Yanqui. Right here.
Peter's in the neutral corner.
Come here. Come over here. Time. It's box.
What was that about?
Was that for the doctor to look at him?
His mouthpiece came out.
Okay.
Or either he didn't start with the mouthpiece.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on the canvas, and I didn't see anybody put one in his mouth.
The round was really quick, though. Between the rounds seemed really quick because of the taking the point and all. So they probably forgot to put the mouthpiece in.
That makes sense.
Good point.
Good call. Body shot by Diaz. Trying to take a little steam out of Sam Peter.
Punch him in there.
Now if the fight starts to go rounds and Diaz is able to get his boxing in gear, the 2-point penalty could turn out to be enormously significant. Right hand lands over the top for Diaz. He gets in a left hook too.
And Diaz is fighting a good fight, but I don't know why he's electing to trade with Peter when Peter punches so hard. He's knocked him down 2 times already.
Well, maybe he just doesn't feel as though he has the room to do anything else in this phone booth of a ring. And it's not terribly difficult for Peter to cut this ring off and put Diaz in a corner.
Get off of him. No. Come on, work. Get off of him.
Diaz looking at the referee as if to say, help me here.
Diaz has good head movement for a heavyweight. I don't know how long it'll help him survive.
Let me have you step out. Back.
And Peter's head movement is better than you see from a lot of big punchers. Sometimes punchers have more of a tendency to admire their work. Left hook bounces off of Diaz's head. Hard body shot by Diaz. Peter countering over the top and catches Diaz once again with the left. Yanqui grabs and holds.
I think Yanqui may be getting a little tired now.
5, 4.
Well, certainly it's a grueling kind of fighting he's having to do, and Sam Peter once again gets him in a stationary position and lands. Next Saturday night, another high-profile 140-pound fight when Arturo Gatti puts his slice of the 140-pound title on the line against highly regarded veteran Jesse James Leija. Also that night, Kassim Ouma defends his 154-pound title belt against hard-punching Kofi Jantua. 2 offensive fighters, could be a heck of a fight. Ouma is a great story, having escaped from war-torn Uganda to mount his professional boxing career here. Average punches per round so far, Peter 42 and Diaz 36.
Fire. Italian. Go.
It's an intermittent pace so far. Neither man is throwing as many punches as is the heavyweight average, but there have been some big punches from Sam Peter. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. Let's see. 2 rounds for Sam Peter, 1 round even, 28-25 in favor of Sam Peter. Jim, let me explain that second round to you. If the referee considers a foul an intentional foul, under the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions, he must take 2 points. And that's all there is to it. Brian Gary said that when he hit him when he was down, it was an intentional foul. He deducted 2 points from Peter. So that made it an 8-8 round. The third round I thought was a little bit closer. That was a 10-9 round. So 2 rounds for Peter, 1 even.
One vicious exchange so far in round 4. Peter landing to the body, and there's a perfect right hand on the chin thrown by Yanqui Lopez.
Yanqui Diaz.
Yanqui Diaz. I keep calling him Yanqui Lopez. Thank you, Roy. Hard right hand landed by Peter.
If Peter landed a right hand like that, the fight probably would be over. And that's a significant difference when two big men are fighting each other.
On the other hand, punching up against a guy who's 2 inches taller, Peter has nowhere near the same leverage he enjoyed, for instance, against Jeremy Williams, Roy.
No, he doesn't.
But maybe it won't matter if he gets chances like that. He just popped Yanqui Diaz with a hard uppercut.
Watch your hands.
Peter is an exceptional puncher with both hands, though.
Watch your heads.
Good to see in the heavyweight division.
And he's not a little guy. He is 6'1".
Yep. And Yanqui is really getting tired now. You can tell by the way he threw that punch and just let himself go. He gets caught after a punch like that, the fight would be over.
As Diaz gets tireder, he begins to lose control of his footwork, and that gives Peter more clean punch opportunities. 3 straight right hands there. Diaz is in trouble.
Third knockdown.
3 knockdowns in 4 rounds.
6, 7, 8. That's it. You ready? Box.
And that one was more from fatigue than anything else.
Fatigue and repetition. I mean, Diaz was taking some of Peter's stuff pretty well here in the corner above us earlier, but I was thinking, you don't want to do that too often. You don't want to have to keep doing it throughout the round.
And those body shots aren't helping, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, hard left hand to the body, and that could end the fight. It's the 4th knockdown, but it's not going to end the fight. Diaz will stand up and take some more.
And
the body punching is making a big difference.
And what's more, Jim, if the ref was really a stickler, he could have called another deliberate foul on that second knockdown,
You
and
lay on the
Sam
ropes,
Peter would have
you
been
get hit in the
disqualified.
body, you're going to get knocked out, son. You hear me? You hear me? Listen to me. Come here. Come here.
Down to the body again.
Feel good for me this round, Sammy, please. Feel good. You're going to look sharp, brother. Feel good.
Look good doing what you're doing. Okay?
Deep breath, Sam.
Now give him some more touches. Give him some more.
Here you see Peter coming at him real hard, hit him with a straight right hand again, straight right hand one more time, and he just really couldn't take no more from there. This time you see him pity-pat and bam, there go a big body shot, which has really been doing most of the damage to Yanqui Diaz tonight.
Peter with a 16-3 edge and power connects in that round. That last left hook to the body is bound to have made a lasting impression.
Don't hold him. Get him up.
And you heard Wes Wolf telling his fighter, Yanqui Diaz, if you don't land some of your own shots to the body, you're going to get knocked out. Chances are he's going to get knocked out in this round.
Anyway.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's the 5th time that Sam Peter has knocked Yanqui Diaz down in this fight. And with each succeeding knockdown, the excitement for Peter grows.
Yeah, but one thing about these Cuban fighters is they have a hard time adjusting to going to a round. Once fatigue sets in, they have a hard time.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Stopping the fight.
Ryan Gary has seen enough as Sam Peter pummels Yanqui Diaz. Diaz not terribly happy about it, but you can't make much of an argument when you've been down 5 times.
Good job, man.
Good again.
You need to take off. You need to take off.
You need to get out of the ring.
That's it, Sam. Way to do it. 54 seconds.
Proud of you.
Beautiful.
Good job.
He's not from Lagos, Nigeria. He's from out back a little bit, and he says that meant he had to fight his way through the ranks a little bit harder and over a longer period of time. But maybe Sam Peter is the legitimate inheritor to Ike Ibeabuchi as a potential heavyweight champion of the world.
I think it's safe to say something like that right now.
That was the statement he wanted to make tonight, right?
Yeah, and he did make it in my eyes.
I certainly don't know when I've seen a harder puncher in the division. That, of course, is what fans love to see. Take us through it, Roy.
Right there, you see him set him with the body shot. Those body shots have been wearing Yanqui Diaz out the whole time. Then he gets him set him, just continues to throw combinations at him.
every single left hook to the body that Peter landed just froze Diaz.
Yeah, because Diaz was very fatigued at this point. They see him come with so many throws, so many punches that he doesn't let him out once he gets him hurt. You love to see that eye of the tiger in a heavyweight, especially a young up-and-coming heavyweight.
Now that was knockdown number 5 we were looking at there. This could be the assault that prompted Gary to stop the fight. Yep.
Yeah, that's the
because
way.
Diaz isn't throwing back.
Combinations, and once Diaz did throw back, but it was too late. You saw Gary's hand already come back on, touch Peter's back to stop the fight. So
he had already decided to stop it.
Yeah, he already made up his mind.
So Sam Peter with his 19th knockout victory among 22 wins, and he beats the guy who had eliminated the once celebrated Juan Carlos Gomez from the ranks of contenders, and moves up higher in everyone's estimation. He is USA Today's Prospect of the Year, Sam Peter, and you saw why. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the details on the knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Brian Gary calls a halt to this bout. The official time, 54 seconds of round number 5. The winner by knockout victory, and now the USBA champion, still undefeated, the Nigerian Nightmare, Samuel Peter.
Total punches in the fight, and you can see that Sam Peter landed at a 33% rate, which is good enough when you're hitting as hard as he was hitting. Diaz not able to throw nearly as many punches as he was trying to bear up under the punishment that Peter was dealing out with both hands. Power punches, in another category that Sam Peter will have dominated. 57 total power punches, 5 different ones put Diaz down on the canvas, and a flurry of them persuaded referee Brian Gary to stop the fight. Diaz only able to throw 64 power punches as he was focusing mostly on the jab, which provided cold comfort within this tiny ring here in Miami. Let's go to Larry Merchant, who stands by with the warm and personable Sam Peter. You're going to like him. Take it away, Larry.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Sam. How much do you attribute the way you fought Diaz to the fact that you two fighters have sparred any number of rounds with each other?
First of all, I want to give thanks praise to Almighty God. I know I will get him because I know he can only run, but he can't hide. So I was knowing that in later round, if I can't stop him in round 1 or round 2, I know I'm going to get him later on in the round. That's what I was doing. I know that he was tired in round 2. I said, okay, instead of me to waste my point, let me just go out and play with him till I get him.
The reason I asked the question is because you neglected your own boxing skills. You didn't throw a lot of jabs. Is that simply because you knew you were just too strong for him?
I know I'm strong for anybody. So I was really know that that's why I did not throw my point too much, because I was trying to counter him, because he got a good jab, he got a good right hand, so I was really be careful, and he hit me with a couple of rounds, a couple of blows, but I still overcome.
All right, let's take a look at some of the action, particularly in the second round, when you knocked him down and then you hit him when he was down. Describe what you see.
He wasn't down because he was still on the rope. He was still holding on the rope. His hand, nothing was on the knee. So that's why I was hitting him.
So you felt that he actually wasn't all the way on the floor, although the referee ruled that when you go into the ropes, it's a knockdown.
You can't argue with referee because the referee decision is decision. But what I was showing I was boxing him. I know his leg or his hand was not on the ground. He was still on his feet. That's why I was throwing the punch.
How far do you think you're away from challenging the top fighters in the division?
I'm ready. You can see I fight 2 championships and I won in 2 months. So I think everybody knows that I'm ready.
Who would you prefer to fight next?
I need who hold what I want. Fight out with Crisco. He hold what I want.
Thank you so much, Sam. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Jim?
All right, thanks very much, Roy. Let's play matchmaker with him a little bit. He's 24, so there's no rush. He's married. His outside-the-ring life is under control. It's not as if he's going to fall apart in a hurry, as some of his predecessors have. He wants to fight Vitaly Klitschko. Wouldn't you put him in for a couple of more fights against lesser guys to get ready?
Why waste time? Let's give him what he wants. You know how I think. Let's give it to him why he wanted. I mean,
so you think he's ready for anybody right now?
I think he's ready for anybody in the heavyweight division right now.
All right. Well, it'll be fascinating to see if promoter Dino Duva is able to carve that path for him. I think Dino actually wants to take a little bit more time. So Sam Peter makes his statement and stretches the unbeaten record to 22-0 with 19 knockouts. Let's quickly get Larry Merchant's opinion. Larry, Roy Jones says that he would go ahead and put Sam in against Vitali Klitschko or anybody. Your take?
Not yet. He's still a little bit of a diamond in the rough. He has been polished somewhat, but I don't think he's ready for that class of competition, and he's not going to get it anyway. He needs a couple or three more fights and to build a following so that a big fight like that will be meaningful, because he is a nightmarish Nigerian-type fighter who, if he can punch with both hands and take a punch, you can go a long way.
Indeed. All right, well, we'll see what happens from here. And meanwhile, let's refurbish your